Hi, everybody. This is Madeleine from Embrace the Madness. And here right now, the only madness is this really big quarantine that we're in. So we're just trying to embrace it day by day. I. I've been all over the place mentally, mostly doing okay, but just like it's silly. This whole thing is like, what? But I shared last week kind of my experience with just reorganizing my apartment. And so I know that really helped kind of creating this space for more functionality and just getting rid of stuff that I never actually purged from moving and all that stuff. So that's what we talked about last week. And I feel like now is a perfect opportunity for doing that because at least in my life, I kind of just go and go and go and go and go, and I don't prioritize some things appropriately. And so things like stuff and unpacking and getting rid of whatever, that kind of falls behind. And so this long ass free time has given me plenty of time to think and to figure out what to do with it all. So I didn't really know what direction this was going to go in just because I don't know. It's kind of like a little shift. So I don't really think it's kind of appropriate to just continue talking about what I was planning on talking about. And I feel like there's a lot of stuff pertaining to kind of this isolation period that I think is important to process and share our experiences, especially being isolated. And I think that will help each other kind of stay strong and objective and make it out on the other side. So this week, I was thinking about a bunch of different things to talk about, but I'm just kind of trying to like listen to my body and figure out what comes. And so I really just thought I would just do a check-in, like a mental kind of check-in with myself and to you guys, and just letting you know my experience. I got a little frustrated because yesterday I had this episode recorded and, I was being like my silly self. And then I went back to listen to it and it wasn't good. It was like, I don't know. It was weird and I tried to fix it, but I don't think I could have fixed it. So you all know how I feel about having to re-record. So that's today. Everything's great. And yeah, I'm just really trying to operate with this sense of like uber compassion and no judgment for myself during this period, just because I've noticed that it's kind of a very good spot to, not a spot, but it's very conducive to negative thoughts, just kind of not having like structure and a direction. And so that's where I've been. And I realized that this is really important if I want to change kind of my habits and work through these emotions and kind of just stay mindful. And so it's working out really well. I feel like I've been really kind to myself. I've just been listening to my body, and if I'm tired, I will rest. And if I feel motivated, then I'll work on something. And if I want to just play video games, then I'll just play video games. And I think allowing me that space is really kind of making this isolation a little bit better. Let's see. Mentally, I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm trying to stay away from kind of outrageous media and too much kind of negativity because I know that will just kind of get in my head. And so I'm just trying to focus on positive things, healing things, really just focusing on my life right now, what I can control, what needs to be done around the house, stuff like that. And just kind of trying to stay mentally balanced because I know if I stay on social media or Facebook, like it's just going to go down this rabbit hole. And then I will have spent the whole day reading about statistics, and I haven't done anything, and then I just get in this weird space. So mentally, I feel like I'm doing pretty well. I do always feel like I'm on the brink of insanity, which I'm sure is probably a collective experience right now. So if you're feeling that way, it's okay. It's actually kind of really weird, like, to observe just like how all over the place my moods are. I kind of am a little irritable on a whim. I have to be really mindful then. And some days I'm really good, some days I'm really tired, some days I'm just blah. And so just I've been listening to kind of those and kind of just acting on that. So that's really helped, and I think it's helped me not try to force anything, because I know that if I do try to force something, I will get frustrated, and then I think resentment will start to build. So I think I've got a pretty decent grip on that. And emotionally, I think probably similar. I've been trying not to lose my mind. I've been taking care of myself, just being really compassionate. I think that's helped my emotions kind of stay afloat. And physically, I definitely have not been exercising as much as I'm consuming. So that's kind of like, ugh. But I'm trying to ride my bike around, and we'll see. We'll see. We'll figure it out. It's definitely something that I'm aware of, but being really compassionate around that is working out, and it's cool because I know there's a lot of shame and weird body guilt when we're just dealing, like, I eat when I'm bored all the time. So this is just kind of like, oh, I'm going to eat all the time. And I feel like that's another collective experience too. So like, it's okay. And I keep reminding myself that it's okay. And I think just being aware and honest with myself and just, yeah. So that's where I'm at with that. I feel like I lost the freaking index card that I made for yesterday. And so I'm just kind of trying to go over what I talked about yesterday. I literally recorded the whole thing. And then I was like, no. And then I was just tired because we went to the park this weekend and climbed a tree. And then I was like trying to do like headstands. And then I think I did it for too long. And so my muscles are just like, ugh, a little overexerted. And yesterday I was just like, ugh, tired. But I feel better today. So anyways, literally just this quarantine, my mind's been all over the place. And I think that's okay because there's literally no structure. But hopefully this is coherent and makes some sense. Well, yeah. So if you're going crazy, like, it's okay. I think we're supposed to go crazy. It's just really weird to think that we're part of this big kind of thing in human history. Like, it's just weird to think about, but it's happening. And I think that's kind of like a big thing for us to have to process too. So I think that's probably responsible for a lot of weird feelings and energies. Yeah. But I've been trying to, do stuff around the house. That kind of keeps me out of the COVID mindset. So I kind of just get lost in that. We've been hanging some art around the house. I've been kind of in a weird creative rut, and I wanted to talk about it in the podcast, but I feel like I'm kind of in it, and so I might let a little bit more time go by, and that way I can really share my experience. So I've just, been going through that. I don't really want anything to do with music. Today's been good. But I'm really just kind of trying to navigate that and not force anything around there and just explore and see what is going on. But I feel like that, at least for me, at the beginning when everyone was like, oh, I hope you're using this time to be productive and making all these songs and writing all these novels. And I think part of me was like, oh, well, you're not doing that. So is something wrong? And so I kind of had to go through that the first couple of weeks and was really upset that I wasn't just like immediately like using this time, and this time was working out for me. And so I kind of like had to go through that and realize that it's okay. And I feel like a lot of us are probably feeling that pressure of being prolific in this perfect time, but I am reminding myself that it's fine, and I'm reminding you that it's fine. And I think that if we can kind of feel the flow and listen when like kind of those inspirational things are being communicated to us, then we can kind of follow that. And I think that's kind of more organic than doing something because you're mad at yourself. At least this is what I tell myself. So yeah, I haven't been watching any TV, which is cool. I'm really proud of that. I just know I would get like sucked in for good if I turned on Netflix. But I am on the computer a lot, which I mean, whatever. But trying to stay mindful of that, what I'm doing, if I'm browsing too much. I'm really bad at Reddit and stuff, but it's fine. I try to look at material that's like either for me learning, like in the music stuff, or I don't know, I'm probably just making an excuse. But yeah, I'm taking a lot of naps, I'm sleeping a lot, eating a lot, cooking a lot, trying to use cooking as a creative outlet when I can. I need to go to the grocery store soon, which kind of freaks me out, but I'll figure it out. And what else am I doing? I'm not working, which is kind of nice. In an ideal world, I don't want to have to work or do something that's not like something that I want to do. And so this time's kind of really cool because I just have a lot of free reign, which can be intense for some, or it could like at first thought for me, there's no structure. So there's like no rules. So it's like, oh, it's a little scary, but I'm trying to kind of reframe it and use it for good things and things that are productive for me. So yeah, it's a journey. It's a journey. Like some days I forget, and then some days I'm like, oh, cool. And I have a feeling this is going to be a while. So I'm just like, are we going to lose it now? Are we going to lose it then? Lose it in the best way, of course. Yeah. Oh, I'm remembering what I put on the index card. I was going to talk about like what was exciting for me, what I was excited for this quarantine, and then what I was kind of afraid of this quarantine. So I think for sure I'm excited to kind of have that free reign like I just mentioned. And that way I kind of have plenty of time to do podcast stuff, music stuff, really anything I want to do. And so that's kind of given me a good amount of time to go through all my stuff in my house. And that's, I think, been the biggest thing. So I'm really excited to just finally have time, and I might make excuses and it might take however long it takes. But yeah, I'm just excited to have all that time and stuff. What I think I am most afraid of for this quarantine is just like coming away from it months later and then realizing I haven't really done anything to show for it. And like, I know it's okay and I need to trust the process and kind of just follow that inspiration when it comes, but it is still a fear. And I feel like a lot of people are worried about that too. But I think if we just stay aware and mindful and just remind ourselves that we'll figure it out when we do. Then we'll be able to get through it and learn a thing or two. And I think that's what I'm realizing, and I'll probably share. I think I want to do an episode on like being in a creative rut. And so I think what I'm really learning is just not to be hard on yourself, and like it is what it is for sure. But I'm reading this really cool book called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, and she talks about kind of taking care of your inner artist and it being like an energy blockage when you are having a hard time expressing yourself. And so that's really cool to me to have kind of that spiritual framing of it. And I mean, it makes sense. Like, we are a product of the universe, like a universe's creation. And so our ability to create and express ourselves is kind of like a micro version of the universe expressing itself. So it's kind of cool and empowering to think about if you think about it that way. So yeah, excited to have all this time, scared to not use the time at all. Which, I mean, I think it's okay. And I'll figure it out. But yeah, for now, I'm just hanging out, reading a little bit, listening to music, kind of. Cleaning up around the house. Just like doing things, being okay with just being okay with not working, being okay with being okay with not being productive. What else? I just laid down, so I'm wondering if that's why my microphone sounded weird yesterday. I don't think so. It was so bizarre. It sounded like I was in like a reverby room or something. Which, I mean, I could be, but... So yeah, I hope you guys are doing okay this quarantine. It's kind of tough, but I think if we just stay focused on our health, mental and physical, then we'll be okay. And yeah, I'm kind of just taking this podcast wherever it goes, wherever I'm feeling in the moment. So maybe next week I can talk about creativity or whatever, or we'll see. But yeah, if you have any questions, you know where to find me. I'm on Facebook. You can just search for Embrace the Madness, or I am on an Instagram at Embrace the Madness Podcast. So yeah, I think I'm just going to get back to chilling out. But I just wanted to kind of touch base with you guys and hope that you're doing okay, and sending you love and healing and compassion. So yeah, tune in next week and we'll figure out what we're talking about. This is Madeleine with Embrace the Madness. Bye. Thanks again for tuning into this week's episode of Embrace the Madness. Don't forget to subscribe so you can learn to live your best life.